So as I said, welcome to the Pre-New York session analysis. This is P Prime. Now, this afternoon, there are some fundamental events that is being anticipated. Like by 2 p.m., we have the European Central Bank President Lagarde is going to give a speech by 2 p.m. Now, volatility is expected because it's a speech, so please trade with caution, especially on the Europeans. Be cautious with the Europeans this afternoon. If you have any running trade, it will be advisable for you to have your stop loss in place just in case if the news doesn't go in line with your expected direction. Now, by 2:45 p.m., we have the Chicago PMI from the United States. And by 6:55 p.m., there'll be Fed Chair Powell's speech also. That's the chairman of the Fed in the United States is giving a speech by 6:55 p.m. Now, later on today, there is a news from New Zealand that's an NZIER business confidence. It's still tentative, so no specific time has been allotted to it yet. So the tradable event this afternoon is actually the Chicago PMI, which is coming up by 2:45 p.m. Now, it's a medium impact event. Let's check what this event is all about. It measures the level of your diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers in the Chicago area, and actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. Uh, Personally, I would not really be looking much at this event. Much is not expected because it's even coming up in between different speeches from different presidents. So trading from the fundamental angle this afternoon should be done with a lot of caution. Personally, I will be staying out, of this. But we can look at other technical setup which might, be triggered probably later in the day after all the speeches. So I'll go now to the technicals. I'll check my MetaTrader platform and just give you an update on some instruments to analyze earlier in the morning. Now, in the morning analysis session, I remember telling us that I was bullish on the USDCHF. I remember mentioning that I was seeing the formation of an inverse head and shoulder pattern on USDCHF, on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, we started it first on the 1 hour, but it didn't have much clarity. Then we went down to the 15 minutes and we had some clarity on the 15 minutes. And I dropped the group. If you belong to the funded client group, I actually dropped the group. I dropped the entry for a bullish trade on the USD CHF, and it generated 15 pips. So if you're in the client group, I believe you've peaked 15 pips this morning. If you're yet to be on the funded client group, all it requires is that you found the account, reach out to your account manager, fund the account, and your account manager will add you to the funded client. Will drop signals, quite a number of signals there. So you can take advantage of that to make a lot of profit in the market. Also, in the morning, I mentioned that I was bearish on the BTC USD. And in the course of the morning, the trade actually got triggered as in price broke. As at this morning, price had actually broken below the lower trend line, but then, you know, the movement started, the volatility, the downward movement started, and it generated well over 50 pips between morning and now. Now, I will not advise you enter a trade now because it might retrace. Now, this is my view of the BTC. I expect a retracement then of order breakout downwards. So what I would suggest you do now is that just wait for the retracement, and whenever price is breaking out and is breaking below this recent low, you can trigger, a bearish trade, a sell trade on BTC USD. Now, take note that this trade is going to be a swing trade. It's not an intraday trade, so it should be done with a lot of caution, bearing in mind that your stop loss might be a bit large, and also it can span some days, or even some weeks. Whichever one depends on how the market moves. That's the way swing trades do. So the swing setup on a BTC USD, just came out as analyzed, though it's just a tip of the movement. More is expected, in the course of the week. Madam Manaji was asking about Euro New Zealand in the morning. Okay, and I said there was no clarity, but the market seems to really favor her today because the trade was able to retrace to a reasonable extent. I believe our trade could have at least to an extent, the loss should have reduced. I want to believe so. So, Madam Manaji, now we're having a better clarity on what will happen next to the Euro New Zealand.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am. All right. So for the Euro New Zealand, we can clearly see that the daily candle currently is giving us, a rejection candle. Now, I went back to check this setup and I discovered that it still is trading around that earlier trend line that we had to ignore. Price is getting back towards that trend line and price is forming a rejection candle around the trend line. So that might lead to a further bullish movement. Now I will still advise Madam Monaji to make sure that our stop loss is very much in place. If this pattern closes this way tonight, then it means we should have, further bullish movement on the Euro New Zealand.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma. All right, now I'm seeing a setup on GBP AUD. GBP AUD is getting set for a bullish breakout. Now, this is GBP AUD on the daily time frame, and price currently is forming a rejection candle on the daily time frame. And that rejection candle is around a support level. Now, on the real big picture, if you go to the monthly time frame, this setup is actually meant to be eventually bearish because I can see a resistance on the monthly time frame. And with that resistance, we're actually expecting a pattern that looks a lot like a double top, which should lead to a bearish breakout on the long term. But then we trade what we see for now. This is the daily time frame. We're actually seeing a double top formation, which should break out downwards. But currently, price is testing the neckline region, of that double top. So if this candle, now there's a catch here, if this candle closes like this tonight, then it means we should be looking for an opportunity to buy GBP AUD, either from tonight or latest by tomorrow morning. So we can flip down to 1 hour time frame. Okay, it's not clear on 1 hour. Let's go to 15 minutes. Okay, I think we can still do 30 minutes. All right. So I'm seeing the possibility of an inverse head and shoulder being formed here, which will lead to a bullish breakout reversal on GBP AUD. We can have a neckline in that region. So whenever price reverses back, it may still drop a little, then reverse back and break above that level. We should be looking to trigger a buy on GBP AUD. It's safe to put our take profit, at that resistance level, and means that we can generate as much as 65 pips, on this trade setup. So I'm bullish on GBP AUD. If you can do a next deposit of, let's say, $10,000, we'll give you 2% of that 10,000. All right. Salma Fanny is saying I should do analysis on NAS 30. Sorry, NAS 100 and DG 30. I actually did this in the morning. You see, when we do analysis in the morning, that's why we drop the link to the YouTube channel. You can always go there and watch after the class. But I'll just oblige, even though we've done it in the morning, I'll just oblige you by doing it again. Now for DJ30, I said it in the morning that I hold a bearish outlook on this instrument because on the daily time frame, the candle for last Friday closed as a rejection candle on the daily time frame, and technically that means we should look out for a reversal. And again, still on the same daily time frame, can clearly draw a trend line to connect different points there, and it's still resting on the rejection candle, the higher high thereby acting as a resistance level. So technically, we're looking for an opportunity to sell the DJ30. And if we flip down to 1 hour time frame, we are seeing a pattern information that looks a lot like a shoulder, a head, possibly a second shoulder, then we'll see a drop from there. All I'm saying is the head, and shoulder. The other side, if it doesn't work out the way I drew, the other thing that could work out is I'll go have a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, then finally a drop. That's also the other possibility. But technically, I hold a bearish outlook on the DJ30. And same thing for NAS 100. I call it all the bearish outlook for NAS 100. For NAS 100, the last week candle closed as a shooting star. That's a shooting star up there at a support term resistance. And currently, we can see that price is already trying to decline because on the 4-hour time frame, we can clearly draw our trend line up there. And for the second one, where we have a rising wedge. Now, this NAS 100 is more of a swing setup, and it should be traded with a lot of caution. So I hold a bearish outlook on both the NAS 100 and the DG30. There's a bearish setup also on New Zealand USD. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the morning, but this is my view on the New Zealand USD. Now, this is likely going to be a swing setup. Now, from the monthly, let's even go down to the weekly. From the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that price, is trending downwards right on the weekly time frame. So we have a downtrend in the weekly time frame with a resistance level. Downtrend resistance level, technically, it means we're looking for an opportunity to sell the New Zealand USD. So if we flip down to the 4-hour time frame, we have a rising wedge pattern. And if price breaks out, we should expect a massive bearish breakout on New Zealand USD. So I'm bearish on New Zealand USD on the 4 hours. And finally, I'll look at gold. Gold, I said it in the morning that if all things go well, we should be getting ready for a possible bearish movement in gold. Though I'm more specific by saying that I also look at the scenario if the MACD can cross. Currently, gold is actually declining, but I will not encourage you enter into a sell trade. Gold has been trapping people for quite a while. All I'm saying is it's a bearish trend, but no confirmation yet. If we were to take a confirmed trade here, it's only going to be if a new candle will open below this current candle, which is acting as a support. So if you have a new 4-hour candle open below this one, well, we might see some slight bearish movement on gold because it's more or less that price is breaking out of the rising wedge pattern. It's a bearish trend, but not tradable at the moment until price breaks below the current low for us to trigger a sell. At that point, RSI should be much below 50, which currently is at 45, which is not bad. But I would also want this MACD to have declined further than this to trigger a sell on gold. All right, that will be all this afternoon. Only question as we round up. Any question? We're yet to see breakout on New Zealand JPY and AED JPY. There is a kind of a range in the market, and it's due to the expectation of all the speeches from different central bank governors which we're having today. Those speeches sometimes can make the market can go quiet before they are released. And don't forget, today is Monday, so generally volatility is a bit low. That's why we're not seeing much movement in the market at the moment. You're welcome, Mr. Joshua Corey. All right, so I'll be ending the session here. Take care and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Enjoy your holiday, sir.
You're welcome, man.